Hello, Namaskar, good evening. Welcome to NCERT's live interactive session. This is Simran Singh. You are all watching us on PM eVidya channel number 6 to 12, or you can also connect with us to our YouTube channel. You all know it's NCERT official. So viewers, it's around 4 p.m. on your watch, and from 4 to 5 for 1 hour regularly we come up with our webinar sessions. And today webinar session is going to be special for all of you, as it's a continuation of a part of webinar series where we discuss the journey of National ICT Awardee teacher. Now, just providing you a glimpse of who National ICT Awardees are. They are resource persons of the nation who have contributed immensely in nation building. You want to know how? Basically by introducing new interventions in the field of ICT in the entire process of teaching and learning. And we come up with such webinar sessions for all our viewers so that we can showcase the journey of National ICT Awardee teachers and also inspire all of you. Now, the most awaited moment is who is the National ICT Awardee teacher joining with us in this session. So let me introduce her to you. In the conversation we have with us Srimati Gulzar Ibrahim Dambal. Namaskar ma'am, good evening.
Good evening, Simran. Namaskar.
A very warm welcome in the session, and it's an honor and delightful to have you here in the conversation with us. Ma'am is currently serving as Assistant Science Teacher at Karnataka Public School, Temgondlu, Nelamangala Taluk, Bangalore Rural District. A very warm welcome in the session, ma'am. And a warm welcome to all our viewers who have connected with NCERT for this particular session of webinar, where we are going to discuss about the journey of National ICT Awardee. Well, this session is from 4 p.m. till 5 p.m. So for entire 1 hour, if you have any of the queries from ma'am, so feel free to write to us in the comment section of NCERT official. Besides, here is our contact number flashing on your screens. Kindly note down this number, that is 8800440559. Although we try to take all your questions, your queries in the session itself, but in case if any of your questions remain unanswered, so feel free to write to us at this mail ID that is flashing on your screens. It is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. So once again, welcome on board Gulzar ma'am, and let's begin about your journey and discuss more, as I am eagerly waiting to know more and get inspired in this session.
Good evening, everyone, and good evening, Simranji. Before I begin, I want to express my gratitude to CIT and NCERT for providing me opportunity to speak about my experience of integrating ICT in education and my journey as a National ICT Awardee. I would like to introduce myself. Science was my favorite subject from school days and college days itself. From 2003 to 2005, I completed BSc in CBZ from Karnataka University, and during the college days, I used to give seminars in chemistry and biology topics. This quality of teaching made me to join B.Ed, and in 2006, I completed B.Ed with the physical and biological science as a method of my instruction. And my first job was at SDM High School, Dharwad, and it is one of the esteemed institutions. Here I got good experience of teaching. So later in 2007, I got appointed as Assistant Science Teacher in Karnataka Public School, Temgondlu, and from 2008 to 2010, I completed MSc in Chemistry from Kuvempu University. Now I have 15 years of teaching experience, and I teach physical and biological science in my school. Now, I want to tell about something about my school. I want to show a short video clip about my school. You can see my school here. It is a small introduction to my school. My school is situated in rural area, that is Temgondlu, Nelamangala Taluk, Bangalore Rural District, Karnataka. It is established before independence. So it is a very old school, and here we have 11 sections from 8th, 9th and 10th classes, and we have both English medium and Kannada medium classes, and about 600 children are enrolled in our school. And these students come to our school from the 40 villages surrounding our school. And the majority of students, they are below poverty line, and this is the small introduction to my school. Now let us come to know about our computer lab in our school. When I got appointed, there were no computers in our lab. Nevertheless, very a few old computer systems were there, and which came under the Mahiti Sindhu project. Computers were expected to come in ICT Phase 3 program, but unfortunately, we didn't get those computers. On approaching Cognizant Foundation, the Cognizant Foundation donated 30 deponted computers in 2013 and 14, and among which 25 computers were in working condition. And now our computer lab is well equipped with the all-in-one printers. We have projectors, we have LCD TVs, and we have 15 laptops in our computer lab now, and even with the internet connectivity. And also the smart classes are installed in our school now. Now, I want to focus my journey with the ICT. My journey with the ICT includes my self-learning as a teacher, as a resource person, and for my professional growth, and as well as in creating educational resource material has been part of my ICT journey. I want to start my journey with the ICT from the trainings which I got. In 2007, I got a departmental Microsoft training from Urban Diet Bangalore. That was my first step towards the use of ICT in teaching and learning process. Later in 2014 and 15, I got departmental training by Diet Bangalore Rural to work as a state resource person for a science subject teacher forum. So this program gave me most useful training because from 2014 and 15, I started using the ICT tools in my classroom teaching and learning processes. So here in this training, I come to know about different types of the education tools which are free and open. So these are some of photos of me where I am working as state resource person for subject teacher forum, and here I gave training to the teachers about the Ubuntu and also demonstrated the use of PET simulation and also the calcium software, which are free and open source tools. Then Department of Minority identified me as a resource person for demonstrating a science class using ICT tools to MDRS newly appointed teachers and also the minority primary school teachers, that is the Urdu primary school teachers all over the state. So this training was conducted in RIE Bangalore, and here I gave a training to the teachers about the usage of ICT tools in their classroom interactions, which was almost unknown among the teachers. And also, I collaborated with the DSCRT in creating e-content. And also, I worked with the DSCRT Karnataka in translating Amrita O Lab's science videos. And Amrita O Lab science videos were in English. We translated those videos into Kannada language, that is our regional language, and I gave them a Kannada voice. In this, by these trainings and by these workshops were they helped a lot in my professional development. And I learned a lot of things, not just by taking the trainings and also by training the other teachers. So that is a very important part for me because in this the ICT helped in my professional growth and development. So now question arises, why did I integrate ICT in teaching and learning process? Here, first I want to talk about some of the obstacles, some of the challenges faced by me in teaching science. So like the teacher for all subjects, being a science teacher, I am also challenged by harnessing student focus. So there was difficulty in teaching some of the concepts of science just by following the traditional method of the teaching. And I also wanted to impart some challenging skill in the student, such as adhering to the inquiry, embracing scientific method, and understanding how hypotheses work. So there was difficulty in imparting such kind of skills in my student. And also there was difficulty in clarifying the misconceptions in the science, because we had very large classes with 70 to 80 students in each class. That is, the student teacher ratio was not favorable. And in our classroom, there were different ability students were there. You know that some students, they can understand just by listening, and some students can understand by visualizing, and some students can understand by doing hands-on activity. So being a biology teacher, it is very important for me to develop the skill of drawing among the students. So one of the challenges I faced was more time required for diagram sketching on the blackboard, and even sometimes non-availability of teaching aids, and lack of time in teachers' timetable for experimental work preparation, and lack of laboratory assistance, and the lack of practice skill among the students. So all these are some of the obstacles and the challenges which I encountered throughout my classroom interaction, that is during my teaching learning process. Then I decided I should make an innovative effort by integrating ICT in education. Then I started using the technology in my teaching and learning process. Here I need to transform the content knowledge into suitable activities, analogies, demonstrations, or the simulations. After getting trained by the STF, that is Subject Teacher Forum, where I learned many educational tools and ICT tools, I understood that ICT be a powerful tool for learning science concepts. Later, I started using all these multiple tools in creating classroom resources. So I created many videos, I created many presentations, concept maps, lesson plans, even the study material, so that I can focus on the conceptual understanding of my student. Now, my best collection of ICT tools in teaching learning processes are, those are free and open source tools like PET simulations, Calcium, open short video editor, Audacity, and even I referred ePathshala app for creating the worksheets, and the one I have prepared the presentations, lesson plans, that is PIE based lesson plans. Now I am preparing blended lesson plans too, and I have prepared the activity worksheets, educational video science, educational videos, and digital stories. So I made use of all these ICT tools in my regular class to make my class dynamic and enable my student to learn through the exploration. Now I want to focus on why did I use ICT tools in teaching science? Because I think just by knowing the about the information, just by gaining the information about the ICT tools, or having the knowledge of ICT tools is not important, but the way we use these ICT tools in our teaching learning process, that makes the point. Therefore, let us know how did I use ICT tools in teaching science. First, I want to talk about free and open source tools, which are PET simulation and Calcium, which I used for clarifying the science concepts. I used PET simulation and Calcium software in many ways. I designed many short activity worksheets on the basis of PET and the Calcium for the student to work, and I used the inquiry method. After watching the simulation, or after doing hands-on activity with the PET simulation or Calcium software, I used the inquiry method. I provided the worksheets prepared by me to the students, and I allowed the whole class for the discussion and to reason around those questions. So here is a one video. I want to play this video.
Is there any change in the net charge?
So here you can see that it's the PET simulation.
Then why? Because
here I use the
neutrons are neutral
and the Calcium.
They do not have charge.
And recorded my voice.
Now let us check the mass number.
So I recorded voice.
Is there any change when you add neutron
and
to the nucleus?
And so on. So why I used these recordings? Because I used these recordings not only to clarify the concepts, and also I used these video lessons for the teachers to introduce to the PET simulation and to introduce the variables which are present in the PET simulation. Therefore, finally, what is the outcome of using these PET simulation in my classroom? When I used these PET simulation, it helped the student to visualize the invisibles. because you can see here my student is working on the PET simulation on a nuclear fission reaction. It is very impossible for the student to imagine how a neutron bombard a uranium, and to imagine a structure of atom, because the atom is very invisible, and it is we can't imagine. Therefore, these PET simulations, they helped my student to visualize the invisibles. And also, my students, they learned through the investigation, exploration, and easily comprehend the knowledge. So this is the one of the best tool, that is the PET simulation I used in my teaching and learning process. Next one is the calcium software. So it is also one of the amazing software. So I used this calcium software to show the periodic table of elements. So when I allowed my student to work on the calcium software, I found the amazing result. I told them to search the information about the element whatever they want, and they did a wonderful job, that they got the information about the atomic number, they got the information about the mass number, even they can identify the position of metals and non-metals in the periodic table, how the atomic size increases in the periodic table, how it decreases in the periodic table, so many more things. So that was a wonderful tool we can use in clarifying the science concepts. And by using these free and open source tools, the student gave the dynamic visual feedback to me. So in this way, I thought that these tools are very powerful tools in our teaching and learning process. Then in these photos, you can see that the 8th standard students, they are using a build an atom PET simulation in studying the structure of atom, and the 10th standard student, they are using a PET simulation to learn the Faraday's experiment. So in this way, I used these two open and free source tools in my teaching and learning process. Now, let us know what is the impact of ICT tools in my classroom interaction. When I started using the ICT tools, the student participation has increased, and they started actively participating in the classroom. And that helped me to construct the basic ideas, concepts from the root level. And also that enriched the experience of the student, and they can comprehend the knowledge easily, and that helped to think in creative way. So these ICT tools, they had a great impact in my classroom interaction. Now let us come to the another tool which I used in my classroom, that is a very fascinating tool, that is the mobile. So I felt that some students struggle with diagramming. Being a biology teacher, it is very important for me to develop the skill of drawing among the students, and there should be a neuromuscular coordination while drawing the biological diagrams. So I felt that I should record the easy way of drawing the biological diagrams with explanation, and I used these videos to project on the screen in order to develop the skill of drawing among the students. So I used these videos for the slow learners and also for the absentees, so that the slow learners or below average student, they can repeatedly watch these videos, and they can step by step they can learn the drawing skills. Okay, so in this way I developed the drawing skill among the students, and I uploaded those in the YouTube and the KOER, and the student, even with the drawing, they can understand the structure and function of each part of that biological diagram. So in this way, mobile helped me a lot in developing the skill of drawing. So next tool I used in my teaching learning process was OpenShot Editor, Audacity, to make the educational videos in Kannada. So here is a video which I have made in our regional language, that is
ಇದೆ. ಗಮನಿಸಿದ ಅಂಶವೇನು?
Here I used PET simulation.
ಹೌದು ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ, ವಿದ್ಯುತ್ ದೀಪ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಪ್ರಕಾಶಮಾನದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಉರಿಯಿತು.
We get more videos in English, but we don't have much videos in Kannada. Therefore, for my Kannada medium student, I created videos in Kannada. So for that, I made use of OpenShot Editor and the Audacity, which are amazing tools for making videos. And also the Amruta O labs, which were in English, we translated them into the Kannada and for and gave them Kannada voice using the Audacity. And not only videos, I have also prepared many presentations on the different topics. So these are some of my presentations on the different topics, both in English and the Kannada medium. And I have prepared presentation on nervous system, endocrine system, carbon and its compound, and different on many topics. And I made use of these presentation for the conceptual understanding of the lesson. Now, these are the some of the videos which I have uploaded in the YouTube as a resource material. In this way, ICT helped me to create different kind of the resource materials for my classroom. Now, it is very important for us to plan a lesson before using the ICT tools in our classroom. So I prepared PIE-based lesson plans. This is the PIE-based lesson plan. So PIE means it has 5 steps, that is the engage, explore, explain, elaborate or expand, and evaluation. So in these PIE-based lesson plan, I mentioned the use of ICT tools so that the teachers can, when they use these lesson plan, the teachers can understand about the which are the ICT tools we can use to teach that particular topic. And I also prepared lesson plans in both the mediums, that is in Kannada medium also, and also prepared many worksheets on the different topics and used same as an evaluation tool. So this is a worksheet which I referred ePathshala for preparing, and these are the worksheets on PETS nuclear fission simulations, and it is a worksheet on the calcium. In this way, I prepared the worksheet and I used those worksheets as a evaluation tool in my classroom. And not I wanted that my resource should not limit to me only. Therefore, I started participating in the subject teacher forum and also in the other WhatsApp groups and shared my resources. And many teachers, they used my resources, and I got a good response and feedback from all over the state. So when I shared my resources in STF Google group, that is the subject teacher forum group, I got a good response and the feedback. We know that the more you share and more you learn, that motivated me. Those feedbacks and those responses, that motivated me to create a more educational resource, not only for the student but also for the teachers. In this way, by creating the educational material, I contributed to the teachers community. Now, I wanted to engage my student in cooperative and collaborative learning using the ICT. So I decided to make a digital story. I asked my student to conduct a survey on microbial disease. My students cooperated with each other and documented a digital story. Here in these photos, you can see that the students, they are taking interview of government government hospital doctor, and they are collecting the information about what are the symptoms, what are the causes of microbial disease. They took the interview of Gram Panchayat president, and they collected the information how the Gram Panchayat is managing disposing of waste material. And also they visited the people and they conducted a survey and got information about the diseases which are affecting the people, and also the ways how the people are disposing their household waste. Later, my students, they prepared a presentation, they edited videos and photos, that is how I developed the ICT skill in them, and they prepared the digital story and collaborated their learning by narrating the same in the classroom. Here you can see my student is narrating microbial digital story in the classroom. In this way, I succeeded in developing the ICT skill in the students, and they collaborative and I engaged them in a collaborative learning. So not only this much, our student made use of the ICT skill in making working model for science exhibition. So by searching the about the models in the by using the internet, by getting the pictures and the videos. They prepared the working model and they participated in the state level, national level and international level science exhibition. So in this way, I developed the ICT skill in my students and engaged them in a cooperative and collaborative learning. Now, I want to focus the opportunities for integrating ICT in education that I have received. So, I got an opportunity to participate in National Conference on Information and Communication Technology in Education. In 2017, I presented a poster on use of ICT tools in education at Regional Institute of Education, Mysore. These are the some of photos of that conference. Here I am presenting a poster in front of NCRT director Senapati sir and also joint director Rajaram Sharma sir and to the RIE students, Mysore. So I also got opportunity to participate as a state resource person on development of e-content for Diksha. So I'm very thankful to CIT NCRT for providing such a wonderful kind of training for us. And this training was conducted by CIT NCRT and the training was attended by Southern State of India. So here I got information about many ICT tools and the apps. Digital resources for learning and assessment, and I come across the importance of infographics, and that is easily online tool to create the infographics, and about the I come across the concept maps and the mind maps. So visual understanding environment for creating the concept maps, interactive H5P through the Lumi education, and about the Padlet. So I want to tell here that I made use of all these resources, all these ICT tools and apps in developing e-content for the Diksha. Let us know how I used these. So I used the VUE, that is Visual Understanding Environment, that is a concept mapping tool, and it is a free and open source tool. And here you can see I have created a concept map on endocrine system, and here you can see the nodes. So when we click on the nodes, you will get the information about that particular node. So in the form of video, in the form of the text, or in the form of the image. So this is a wonderful app for creating the concept map. It is, I can say it is an one type of interactive concept map. Okay. And I used infographics for making infographics on science chapters. So easily is a simple web tool which I used to create this and share infographics. So I used this web tool to create infographics on the science chapters, and in this web tool you will get many templates and the themes which are flexible, and from these infographics we can give information with the graphs and the pictures. So I used this timeline infographics for the teaching biological classification. So you can see here I have mentioned the 2 kingdom classification, 3 kingdom classification, even including pictures and the graphs. So it is very helpful for to communicate with the student easily with the pictures and the graphs. So this is one of the most fascinating tool I can say for clarifying the concept in the science. Then I use the Padlet, which is one of the digital notice board. It is like a paper for our screen. Here I have created some of the recent Padlet that is on the combustion and flame device used for agriculture and so on. So it allowed my student to express their thought on common topic in the form of image, in the form of video, or in the form of the text. It allowed my student to insert their ideas with their name. So it is one type of collaborative learning. So student can express their thoughts in a common screen. It is like a digital notice board for us. So it is a wonderful app tool which I used during lockdown also. And the most fascinating tool for me was Stop Motion Studio. So Stop Motion Studio is an amazing app to create the movies. You can make your own animation movies using the clay drawings and the photos. So here I thought, why can't I use this Stop Motion Studio for making science videos? So I draw this sketch of woman heart, and I took the nearly 200 pictures of my sketch, and I made a movie of working of woman heart. I want to play this 1 minute video on the working of woman heart. Shall I play, ma'am?
Yeah, ma'am, sure.
Heart is a pumping organ. It pumps blood. Deoxygenated blood from all the parts of body carried to right atrium through superior and inferior vena cava. The right atrium pumps blood to right ventricle through tricuspid wall. The right ventricle pumps deoxygenated blood to lungs through pulmonary arteries. The left atrium receives oxygen-rich blood from lungs through pulmonary veins. The left atrium pumps blood to left ventricle through bicuspid wall. The left ventricle pumps oxygen-rich blood through aortic wall to the rest of the body. So, in this way, I used this stop motion studio in making short science videos on working of human heart and different organs. So here I want to tell one thing that I got all these information by the training which is provided by the CIT NCRT on the development of e-content for Diksha. So I want to tell one thing here that teachers are wonderful people. By their dedication, by their hard work, by their creativity, they can create wonders in the field of education by making use of ICT tools. I hope CIT and CIT will continue to giving training in different types of ICT tools for us so that we can create wonders in the field of education using the different kinds of ICT tools. Hope we will continue our journey with the different kinds of ICT tools. Now, I got another opportunity to work as a state resource person for TAL training to high school teachers. I trained physical education teachers, BRPs and CRPs under TAL program. And also I got the opportunity to work as a state resource person in a state level orientation program for science teachers of minority residential school, that is Minority Moraji Desai Residential School at Chitradurga, Karnataka. Here I gave training to the teachers about the integration of the ICT in education and about the usage of different ICT tools in teaching and learning process. I also participated in UNICEF national level workshop with the collaboration of MHRD, and there I demonstrated the use of computers in actual classroom interaction. I also participated in first international conference on ICT in education. So these are the different opportunities I got when I integrated ICT in my professional life. Now, I want to, I'm also working as a state resource person on development of e-content for Diksha, and I'm also working as KRP for NISTA training. So these are some of the opportunity I got by integrating ICT in my professional life. And now I want to tell about the contribution to my school, how I contributed to school. By integrating ICT in our school, UNICEF and MHRD team visited our school to know the impact of STF and ICT use in our classrooms. And with the help of department, our school started technology integrated programs, and with the help of ITFC, that is IT for Change, we started technology integrated program, and all my colleagues got training about the basic of computers and educational tools. And our school also selected as IT sector for NVEQF, and our 9th standard students were taught basic computer literacy. And as I told, the smart classes were installed to our school by the ACCPL training division, and also smart TVs are donated by our education department, Karnataka. Here you can see in this picture the Telangana state teachers, they visited our school to know the impact of the ICT integration and also to know the impact of a subject teacher forum. So they wanted to implement ICT in their state too. So these are the contribution to my school, and totally I can say that the use of ICT made our school as a resource center for surrounding school, and our school got recognition by the department, and that helped to increase our school admission year by year. So now let us move to the next slide. 2016. 2016 is a memorable year for me because in 2016 I gave presentation on ICT integration in education in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. So the jury meeting was between 19th to 23rd December 2016. Here some of the photos are there where I am giving presentation in Bhopal. You can see the jury members for selection of teacher for ICT award, and here you can see Joint Director NCRT, who is a jury member for us, Dr. Rajaram Sharma sir and late MU Paili sir. These are two great personalities who influenced me a lot, and their every word means a lot for me, and I'm deeply honored that the jury member, they recognized my work, they considered my work and integration of ICT in education, and I'm very glad that I received a National ICT Award in 2016. It was a momentous occasion for me to receive, it is a huge honor to receive ICT Award 2016 from Honorable Vice President of India. Let us move to the next slide.
Yes, ma'am, you are sharing about some of the most important glimpses of your life. Here, I would like to inform all our viewers that in the conversation, we still have around 20 minutes. So, if you have any of the questions for Gulzar ma'am, then feel free to write to us in the comment section. I assume ma'am would be more than happy to answer all your queries. Ma'am, you may continue.
Okay. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Now, I want to focus on teaching and learning in times of COVID-19. So, it was a challenging moment for us during the pandemic. So, here also I made use of ICT during the school lockdowns. I created WhatsApp groups, and I was in contact with the student I used to send the activities, I used to send the assignments through the WhatsApp groups, and even the online classes were conducted through the Google. And here you can see in the photos that the students, they are using the tabs. We distributed the tab for the self-learning. The student, these tabs, they have the science videos and other subject videos uploaded in that. And the student, they use the tab for the self-learning, and they used to make the notes out of that. So in this way, the tab also used during the pandemic. And also we conducted the online classes through the Google Meet, and Google Classrooms were created, and also blended lessons plans were created with the synchronous Edpuzzle Jamboard, and Edpuzzle is also one of the best app, and I used the Google Forms to make the as evaluation. I created the quiz using the Google Form. And also Google Classrooms were created for the 8th, 9th and 10th standard students. So in this way, we engaged ourselves, I involved myself in keeping my student learning continue during the pandemic. They recognized my work, and these are the some of photos of appreciation and honor by my superiors. And these are the some of the certificates which I received as a honor and appreciation to that. ICT Award, finally I want to conclude my remarks on my ICT journey by stating that ICT Award is the continuous journey of learning and integrating ICT in education, and not the destination. So many more things are there to learn in the field of the ICT. And ICT Award has increased our responsibility. Continue this journey by imparting the quality education to my student by integrating ICT and by using different multiple ICT tools. So finally, I want to express my gratitude to my family and my parents and our school ex-vice principal in Tamaya, and also our present principal and my staff, and most important are my students without whom I am nothing, and Karnataka Education Department for encouragement, and Education Department of Minority for encouragement, and most important is SS Sucheta, the National ICT Awardee 2015, who inspired me and guided me, and ITFC Srimati Ranjini ma'am and Sri Gurumurthy sir and the team members guiding and supporting me. And special thanks to CIT and CRT New Delhi for providing me a wonderful opportunity. Thank you one and all. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Gulzar ma'am, for sharing these beautiful glimpses or pieces from your life. I'm sure this must have inspired all our viewers watching our session out there. Still have around 15 to 17 minutes. If you would like to add anything, then it's your choice. Otherwise, we also have a set of queries for you. So we are not letting you go.
If you have any question, you can from the audience, you can ask me.
Sure, ma'am. If you allow me, should I proceed with the first question?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, my first question to you, as you are the winner of National ICT Award, you are the recipient of that award for the year 2016. Has this appreciation inspired you to do more work in the field of ICT?
First inspiration I got is from my students, and SS Sucheta, she is a National ICT Awardee of 2015. She inspired me and guided me, and I also the ITFC, that is IT for Change. I got inspiration from the STF training which is given by the ITFC. There I learned many educational tools, and that made to use the ICT, integrate the ICT in my education. So that is from there I got inspiration and also guidance from others teachers to do wonders in the field of ICT, and I got the award in 2016.
Thank you so much for your wise words. Ma'am, what is the difference that you see in the conventional form of learning, like when you used to study in your school, and today with the help of ICT? Like, why do we call ICT the need of the hour?
Yes, ma'am. It is a very good question. During our school days, there was no technology. But when I compare to my school days and nowadays, that is the traditional method to technology method, I find that some of the abstract concept of the science we can't teach just by following the traditional method. So by using different ICT tools, we can clarify those concepts easily, and the student they learn through the exploration, and we can also make the student to investigate by using these ICT tools and by integrating technology in our classrooms. So the lot of difference is there between the traditional classroom and also by integrating technology in our teaching learning process.
Any open or free ICT tools that you would like to advise our students or teachers that they could use on their own and they could explore it so easily?
Can you repeat the question, ma'am?
Any ICT tools that you have used in your journey, would you like to share them?
Yeah, as I told that, I used many ICT tools during my classroom teaching learning process. My best selections are the first one is the PET simulation and the open shot video editor, then calcium softwares. There are many tools are there, science tools are there we can use, but we should know how to use those tools in our teaching and learning process, because without planning we can't use those tools directly into our classrooms. So we should plan before using these ICT tools in our classroom. So many ICT tools are there, but most fascinating for me was PET simulation, calcium, and the app was, I told, stop motion video. That is the one of the most fascinated to me. And even we can use the mobile also, but it depends upon the teacher how she or he make use of those ICT tools in her classroom teaching and learning process.
Well, ma'am, we have often heard this phrase that teaching is a profession that teaches all other professions. Here we are talking about your success story. But as all of us know that every success story, it has fair share of setbacks or maybe failures to say. Any anecdote you would like to share from your experiences, from your life, where you might have felt this might not be my cup of tea, where you felt a bit disheartened but then you kept on going?
That the one obstacle or challenge for me was large classes. The teacher-student ratio was not favorable, and in each class we have 70 to 80 students. So at that time we can't integrate the ICT in our classroom because we can't concentrate on each student. So I wanted to bring a smart classes in each class of my school. So that was one of my hurdle, or you can say one of the obstacle. And then even there is a lack of time for the preparation of experimentation. So I can so I made use of the virtual labs in my classroom teaching learning process. So these are the some of plan. If we make a decision, I want to use ICT tools in my school, then that hurdles were nothing for us.
Very appropriately mentioned. Thank you so much for that, ma'am. And as we know that there are few teachers who might not be that tech savvy, like they might not have hands-on technology, but still they would like to impart education to their students with the help of ICT. Any piece of advice from your end to all those teachers?
First, they require training. First, they have to get trained in the ICT skills, and ICT they should know about the ICT tools which are available, education tools which are available. Then they have to practice on those tools. They have to make a plan how to use those tools in their teaching and learning process. And most thing is they require internet and the device. Most important is a laptop and a projector, so that by these they can simply by using a laptop or a mobile or even a radio and the TV, they are also ICTs. So information and communication technology. By using those also, they can integrate ICT in their teaching and learning process.
Ma'am, do you think that ICT also promotes teacher-student interaction, and how important is that? For example, when I was in my school, there was this common lecture or monologue prepared by our teachers. They used to deliver them and they just go out of the class and they give us homeworks. But now the scenario has changed. So how important is teacher-student interaction in the current scenario, and how ICT has fit in?
This is a very good question. During our traditional class, the teacher used to follow the just a lecture method, but we have a different ability of student in our classroom now. So some can understand just by following the lecture method, but nowadays the 21st century students, they need something more. They need something to visualize. Therefore, ICT that help to deepen their understanding of the concepts. So therefore, ICT play a very important role in nowadays for the 21st century students, and we are old. The students are they are already born in the 21st century, but we are old. We have to update ourselves for their base. Therefore, that is important. Every teacher should get skilled in the ICT tools.
Ma'am, during pandemic, it has been really tough for teachers and students to come on board and interact with each other. How has the time been for you, and have you just went on exploring more and more in the field of ICT? Anything you would like to share from those 2 years of pandemic?
Yeah, was a very challenging period for every teacher, I must say. So during the pandemic, it was very difficult for us to harness the student focus. So because the students were more fascinated towards the mobile, instead of watching educational videos, they were distracted towards the other videos. That was very challenging for the students. I used to send some videos for the student to learn, but I was not confirmed that whether the student have watched watch that video or not. So I use the Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle is the very nice app tool we can use, because when you send videos of any or your own, or you can select the video from the YouTube and you can edit that video. So in between that video you can put some questions, and without solving those questions the student cannot forward the video. So by using such kind of the apps, I made my student to continue their learning, and really it was very challenging. And these 2 years of pandemic, they have a great loss to the, I can say it is a very great loss to the education system, but we tried our best by using the ITC.
You have answered the question. Thank you so much. And ma'am, when you started using ICT, I'm curious to know about the reaction of parents. How did they take it?
Yeah, I started using ICT in 2007 when I got departmental Microsoft training, and I remember till now I am using till now that my first PPT I prepared was in 2007. That is on the human brain, control and coordination nervous system. It is on the nervous system. For the first time I prepared that PPT, and I am using that PPT till now. I have modified a little bit, but I am using that PPT till now to teach control and coordination about the human brain. And from there onwards, I started preparing the PPTs, because that time only PPTs were the tools for us. And later when I got the training from the in the STF, that is Subject Teacher Forum, I learned many educational tools. As I told, they are free and open source, like PET simulation, Calcium, Stellarium, and many more tools I came to know there. From that onwards, I started using those. And when I used these ICT tools in my classroom, I got wow and how response from my students. That inspired me to create more such kind of videos, more such kind of resource material for my students.
Yeah, very appropriately mentioned. Thank you so much. And ma'am, as we all know that the work of teacher is very difficult. Sometimes you have to be parents, and at other times you also have to act like friends. And during this technology era, our teachers also have to take up the role of tech experts. Would you like to reflect on that?
Ma'am, will you please repeat once again?
Yeah, ma'am, even during the pandemic, we have seen that the role of teacher varies. Like teachers have to be parents, teachers also have to be friends to a child. And during the pandemic especially, when the technology came into being, teachers have to play the role of tech experts.
Yeah.
What is your take on that? Any comments from your end?
Yes, ma'am, it is a very interesting question too. So it is very important for teachers and the parent to join hand during this pandemic situation to continue the children's education. And because during the corona time, the children were most fascinated towards the TVs and to the mobiles. So in that time, we created the groups, and also we conducted the meetings, Google Meets for the parents too, so that they can have an eye on the student regarding what they are watching. And the cyber safety is a very important, I want to mention here. So in this way, we also make use of some of the cyber safety tools, made use of cyber safety tools in order to prevent our children from diverting.
And ma'am, as we are moving towards the culmination of this session, any last remarks from your end, any piece of advice from your end to all the teachers, all the students, parents watching this session out there?
So I want to conclude that as I told, the ICT award is not the end, it is the beginning. I have many, it is a continuous journey. I want to do many more things. Therefore, it is a responsibility of teacher to use the technology. We should include the technology in our teaching and learning process to make better India to a student.
Thank you so much, Gulzar ma'am, for being a part of this conversation and apprising our viewers about your life journey. And I'm sure, like I have got inspired from your journey, our viewers must have felt inspired and motivated. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you one and all.
Thank you to all the viewers who have connected with NCRT for this particular session of webinar. You don't have to go anywhere, because if you have any of the queries or any questions for us in either of our sessions, then here is our contact number flashing on your screens. You may give us a call at 8800440559, and for this particular session, that is for our webinar series, if you have any of the queries, kindly note down this mail ID flashing on your screens. It is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. Once again, I would like to thank our expert of the webinar for the day. Thanks a lot, Gulzar ma'am.
Thank you very much,
Thank you
ma'am.
to all the viewers for connecting with NCRT. Don't go anywhere. Our upcoming session is Sahyog, where we try to raise awareness about mental well-being and providing psychosocial support to all our students and viewers watching our sessions out there. We'll be right back within few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Stay connected with NCRT. Namaskar.